Okay, you.
You're alive and well. Don't keep me waiting now. What's in there?
She's looking for the
sarcophagus.
She's looking for the right expression. That dark sarcophagus. Pause dramatically.
Yes. How was it?
Brain.
Tell her how ghastly it was. You know it's what she wants to hear.
It's a charnel house of failed business enterprises, leeching life energy from the bookstore. Or, honestly, a dump. Nothing to see there. Just heaps of garbage someone should let the sunshine in. Let's scare her. Leeching life energy from the bookstore.
I knew it. Oh, such horrors that have been thrust upon us.
She shakes her head.
But, what else did you find? Did anything survive? No, of course not. Have you located the entity?
I have. I talked to the entity you told me about. Her name is Nia, and she's a novelty dice maker. Charnel House is not a phrase I knew before. It's a good phrase. It's an old phrase, but it's a good one.
A novelty dice maker? Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep.
She's not a sorceress or some malicious entity. She's a businesswoman like yourself. No, ma'am, I felt her aura. She is not the one to blame for the curse, or she may be involved, but I don't have a way to question the malignant entity further. I don't think she's involved. I think she's living in a chimney, but I don't think she's involved. Right. She is not the one to blame for the curse.
I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom? How did she explain the curse?
She lurks perplexed.
The
Brain?
narrative she's built herself, it does need tearing down.
Other brain?
Just don't say you don't have any answer yet. The uncertainty is killing her.
No, I can weave something.
To hell with it. Perchance you ought to just lie, sire.
Says there is no curse because there is too many inconsistencies. She said it's just capitalism. Bankruptcy is the quirk of our economic system. The source is the taxidermist shop. He became involved in arts darker than taxidermy and brought the void spirits down upon his place. Don't have answers yet. There's still leads to be followed, like the strange radio computer thing. Actually, yeah, let's talk about the radio computer thing.
You're telling me that you went in there and didn't find out anything about the curse?
I guess that is kind of what I'm saying, isn't it?
Of course. I should have known better than to put my hopes on a man like you. You're no Simonese ghost whisperer. You're an alcoholic.
I mean, I am holding a lit flashlight in the middle of a very well-lit room. It's fair cop.
The investigation's over. I don't want you going in there anymore. You're only angering the psychic weather in here. Now, if you're not going to buy anything...
Right.
Wow. Total psychic collapse between you two right now.
Aww.
There was never any other way this could have gone. She's just too far gone into her own mind.
I feel like I missed out on a decent reward there, but that's okay. Right, what if I want to buy a book?
Goodness, you were already doing good, browsing the shelves. Why'd you stop? Don't you feel compelled? Go.
Ah,
Go.
right.
Get back there.
Right,
Books
alright.
await you.
Shut up.
She smiles and nods, seemingly.
Right, farewell. Okay. So we got a pile of experience. That's good. We're, again, very close to leveling up, so that's nice. No closer to getting a password, though. Wonder if you have any books on games.
Of colorful board game boxes.
There we go.
There are numerous types of games for all ages. A lot of shelf space seems to be taken up by Wirral-related merchandise.
Right, look those up.
An endless variety of source books, lore books, and codices litter the table. The topmost book is titled Welkin Compendium, 2nd edition.
Okay.
There's also a large hardbound tome with intricate cover art, The Hunters of Katawak, Boreal Creature Compendium, and a Pick Your Path adventure game book titled Tales of Wirral, Cavern of Velkrag.
Okay. Brain.
Books in a board game section? Who wants to read books?
I do. Shut up. Anything really catches my eye.
There's a box that says Wirral, 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplements module. The side panel notes, a fantastique adventure board game, new maps and miniatures. A sticker on it displays 25 real.
That's expensive.
That price is steep, but then it's the 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplement, so it makes sense.
I could buy the game, but I don't know why I would. So, all right, we'll leave that for now. What's over here?
The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular, sword-wielding barbarian on the cover. Nearly all the titles contain the word Heimdall somewhere.
I thought there would be Heimdall, but okay. Right. Okay, let's actually do the interview. I promised I would be a good cop today while Kim was gone, and I haven't. Haven't done a damn thing. Not sure when he's going to be back, matter of fact. Okay. You solved the ghost mystery. I mean, I did. Kinda. It's fair. Yeah, it's fair. And unplugged a bear. I did. I defeated the bear. That is definitely a thing that I have done. Okay, we have Art Girl up there. And nothing good down here. What's this? Docking reserves for resident of Rue de Saint Ghislaine, 33A. And you? Your room in the Whirlingig isn't much bigger than the sloop. This is worth more than you'll ever earn in all your life. Right, we rob the lady, we steal her boat, and then we leave. Game solved.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Sneaking suspicion she's the one that has my gun, by the way. Either her or the woman who's standing on top of the whirling in rags right now. Right. Hello.
Good afternoon, officer. I'm Joyce.
She extends her hand in greeting.
Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbor. You must be from the RCM.
She steps closer and holds out her hand over the railing. Okay. Mr. Everett is helping you find your gun. I mean, I know where mine is. I don't know if you're playing along or if you've played it before, Hippofant, but I don't want to spoil things if so. Right. What does the L stand for? Or I guess I could shake her hand. I don't know who this woman is. Shake her hand.
I'm glad to see you here.
Her grip is tight and cold.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching.
Ah.
Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
Right, let's start out with the obvious. You're on a boat.
Why, yes I am.
Don't know what I expected, honestly. She looks at the deck under her feet. Green and white sails flutter overhead. Not a lot of people on boats, are there? Or does she have a name? Yeah, okay.
The boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is.
Well, she's boring.
The word "it" feels strange. Such a beautiful boat deserves a proper name.
Yeah.
A breeze ripples through the sails and tugs at your hair. Below, the sleek, fish-like shape of the hull parts the water. Beneath that, a resounding darkness. You're reminded of something. Or someone.
Yeah, the boat really needs a name.
Okay. How about Cordelati 19? Why?
She taps on the side of the boat. It makes a hollow sound.
Because it was manufactured in Revachol East by a company called Cordelati, and its hull is 19 paces long.
You're boring as hell.
She makes a point of being unromantic about it.
How about the sleek fish? Or Dolores? Dolores. No, we'll go for sleek fish.
What?
Because it's sleek and fish-like.
I think I'll stick with the factory name. But thank you.
Right, but what kind of boat is it?
It's a pleasure craft. A 19 pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business.
Right, how do you like it?
My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
Wow. Not a lot of people on boats, are there?
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around?
Fair point.
There is a pinch of defensiveness in her voice, but it is playful.
Ah, yes. Wait, we're on an archipelago? Look around.
Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
She took me seriously. That's a shame.
Technically, the neighboring Ozone and Fas Alamer island groups are archipelagos, while La Caillou, by contrast, is a single fertile landmass, the fourth largest island in the world. It is not an archipelago.
Right. Let's prove our encyclopedic knowledge. I thought La Caillou was one big island.
Okay, if you want to get technical, the point is we're all on islands here, and sail is still the most expedient way to get from one island to another, especially when you're in a hurry to resolve a strike.
I mean, at least we got some experience for that. Right. Still, I haven't seen anyone else in a sailboat around here.
I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Brain?
She's referring to Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage.
Right. That belongs to my partner.
No matter whose it is, a motor carriage is just a tool. You need it to do your job, as I do mine. It's just a means of getting where you need to go.
She's got a point.
You need to make this lady admit she's only riding around on this boat because she's rich.
Right, you and me, Rhetoric. Yes, I do.
You have the guns and the ammo. Take this Clausen fiend down.
Let's talk about the economics of the boat you're on. We're gonna fail miserably. It'll be hilarious.
Oh my, the E word. You mean to say that it's a symbol of conspicuous consumption? That I'm a member of the ruling class?
Yes, exactly. Or Precisamundo, class war. Or no, it's a symbol of our subjugation to foreign capital, the bad kind of capital. Forget about that, I was out of line. Foreign capital? Meh.
Then what does that say?
She points
Does
to the
it say
plaque.
Docking reserved for residents of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A.
She points to the plaque on the side of the pier. Right.
33A, this old proletarian haunt here. As I said, plenty of people drive boats, of all social strata.
Right. Right. Okay, 28% chance. I know about the revolution, and it's the eel's heels. We got her to make a joke. So, reaction speed is 1. Screw it.
Your synapses flesh.
Win! Just barely, but we won. This house was built before the revolution. Funny, I don't see any other eel's heels around, or there doesn't seem to be much space left with a 19th pace sloop docked here. Wow! That's just brutal. Yes, I don't see any other eel's heels around, or I think the 19 pace sloop is probably the meanest. Do we want to be mean? We might want to be mean. They're all good. They are. Okay, we'll be semi-mean. I don't see any other eel's heels around.
You mean eel's hips. But point taken. I am a bourgeois woman, and this is my fast, light, interminably bourgeois boat.
There you go.
There is no shame in her voice. A touch of sadness, yes, but no shame.
Okay. Do you have a license for the boat? A 19 pacer, it's true.
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
Well, I believe you, actually.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles.
Okay.
Qualified pleasure craft operator. So charming. Where's the damn license?
Okay, can I see the license?
I just renewed its safety inspection last month, officer. It is completely seaworthy. In fact, it's taken part in not one, but two Insulindic regattas, and finished once.
Okay. What happened the other time?
The other time, I would have finished the race were it not for an urgent work matter, much like the one I'm on now.
Okay, but I still need to see the license.
Technically speaking, you don't.
And what do you mean?
Surely you're aware that under the Wayfarer Act, the RCM doesn't have the authority to demand anyone's operator license. Freedom of movement and all that.
No clue about that. Carry on.
The Wayfarer Act is one of the few pieces of legislation governing human interaction in the Revachol Zone of Control, along with the Emergency Trade and Ailments Acts.
Thank you, Encyclopedia. Explain further.
It's one of the foundational laws in Revachol, designed to limit the authority of local institutions. Part of it prohibits the RCM from requesting most documents and licenses without permission from a coalition representative.
Okay, so we really need to get all of the red tape in order to even see somebody's ID. Gotcha.
It's a law that keeps Revachol what it is, in limbo.
Okay. Right, all of this is speaking. So... more like the Anarchy Act, in my opinion. Let's be a dick.
You may still ask to see my passport. That I'm obliged to share with you.
Apparently I can say, yes, I'm going to need to see your passport in 2 different ways. So, yes, I'm going to need to see your passport.
Of course.
She searches the pocket of her raincoat, producing a bundle of documents in a sealed plastic bag. Take a look.
The woman is silent, smiling while the waves lap against the hull. In your hand, under the plastic, a light blue passport saying, Republic of Vespa. The coat of arms has a lion and an ostrich. Seigent.
Okay.
The Republic of Vespa, formerly the Republic of Vespa Messina, was once a dual kingdom. An amicable parting of ways produced 2 constitutional monarchies. Vespa, the richer of the 2, is an occidental nation known for its proximity to the Pale and its exotic financial derivatives.
Okay. Anything else?
It is a stable country, and yet there has always been something ominous about its perfect stability. It's a place at the edge of the Mwindi Isola, overlooking the Obi Sunt Isles, fracturing into the great unrest of the Pale.
Okay. So the Pale is actually a thing. So that's nice. Just cut my hair, feel 10 pounds lighter. I don't know what that feels like. Just, I don't know. There's something I'm missing. But I'm glad you got a haircut. That's nice. Look at the photo page.
The woman, born in the year 3 in the commune of Revachol, smiles at you, face adorned with frown lines and crow's feet. The photo is recent. The name reads, Rejoice Leighton Messier.
Okay, your name is Rejoice.
Yes. But please don't call me that.
Why?
Joyce is much more efficient.
Cheeky. It's in my nature bathrobe, I'm sorry.
She doesn't like it. Probably a bad memory. Mean girls at school or some ancient lover.
Okay, thank you, empathy. You're from the Republic of Vesper.
My husband is. I have dual citizenship. A Vespertine is handier when traveling.
Okay. Everything appears to be in order.
She nods and returns the plastic bag to her coat.
Got experience for that anyway. Right. I think I have a handle on the boat thing. Oh god, the pun.
Good.
Tell me about Wild Pines.
What we do. I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
I mean, fair. Brain?
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
Okay, what do they do?
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things.
Okay.
And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
Excellent. Brain?
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo-tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by
Gotcha.
the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo-tribes remain.
Okay. Who are the other Indo-tribes?
Son-Baptiste, Elysium, an unknown entity known as Brightest Star.
I'm intrigued by Brightest Star. Right. You're in good company, it seems.
Why, thank you.
She does not register the real meaning of the remark. Well, fair enough. How much money does Wild Pines have?
I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue.
Good God. Yeah, just, wow.
20 billion is a large number, but the conglomerate employs 72,000 people. They all need to be paid. Then there are capital improvements, interest payments.
A wave hits the sloop. She grasps the mainstay for balance. Okay, that's what that noise was. Got it.
A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It's a tremendous responsibility.
Right. Where does Wild Pines get its income from?
They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isolas
Gotcha.
250 years ago, when pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lormantang on behalf of the suzerain.
Excellent.
Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it.
Okay. Probably helps to start out with the royal monopoly.
You know more than you let on. Certainly it helped, but most of the original Indo tribes have failed or been absorbed. To survive, Wild Pines had to grow and adapt. No suzerain did that.
Okay. What does such a huge system want with a place like this?
You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners,
Yeah.
who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo?
Yeah. You don't keep it moving. The workers do. The company is nothing without them. Yeah, let's do the communist thing. That's fine.
We built this district.
She says calmly.
There it is. She owns up to it.
Gotcha.
All the best parts of it. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, with its bastions. The plazas Meteor and Mosaic. Even some of the old street lamps have been put back thanks to the investments from the WP.
She points behind you where the seawall rises.
Before Martinez was swallowed by the industrial harbour, even before it was part of Revachol, long before Terminal B was erected here, the Pines built it as a resort for its Revacholian employees.
Okay.
A company getaway, for a weekend or a summer holiday. Then came the revolution. But that's another matter.
Okay.
I'm here to make sure the Pines can fulfill their responsibilities to the place they built.
Right. Brain?
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
Thank you, suggestion. What can you tell me about the strike?
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
And if I want to hear about trade secrets?
First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade and Aliments. That gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus.
An octopus? I will slay it.
Good luck is only kept in place by the vested interests of half the civilized world, including your own.
I had to.
I'm afraid the Emergencies Act was put in place by the same coalition government that leases the RCM the right to police East Revachol.
East or west? Because the voice actor said east and this says west. Right, Brain?
You'd be shooting yourself in the foot, in other words.
Okay, leave it alone.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike.
Yes, I did. What's your role in this?
I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
Okay. How the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place.
Gotcha.
Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
Ah, yeah. You mean Measurehead.
Yes, Jean-Luc Measurehead.
She leans back and rolls her eyes. How were the talks going before the lynching?
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
Okay. How long have you been here?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
Okay. If you subscribe to his racist theories, you can tell her about how he's your mentor. See, this game has so many facets that it really does already make me want to replay it in some other wild fashion. Even just starting out with different skills would be a wildly different playthrough, and I really enjoy that. Yes. Continue.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
Huh. Perfect dialogue tree, Graham. That's exactly it. I think as far as replayability, I haven't seen a game this unique in so long. It would probably be decades that I've seen something this well done as far as that goes. Okay, what happened then?
The union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
Okay. I mean, they did kill your hired thug, that's true. Brain?
Ludicrous, even. It's meant.
Okay. What happened to Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told him to... How did he put it?
She pauses to compose herself.
Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Okay. Yeah, okay then.
Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
Okay. So what are their ridiculous demands?
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again?
Okay.
Oh, yes. Every worker, a member of the board.
It kind of just sounds like they want to vote within their union. That doesn't sound so bad.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
Okay. I like it. I don't know what to think about that. Seems like they have no idea about business. Forget it. Wanted to ask you something else. We're gonna tell her I don't know what to think about that.
Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal.
Okay, that might be a bit much.
Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
Interesting. The king is dead, long live the workers. That's pretty funny, I have to admit. Yeah, okay.
They're having a blast. But how can they afford it? After 4 months, my assumption was they would prefer a more practical solution.
Okay. What are you going to do?
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assumed that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again.
Interesting.
And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Right, the scabs at the gate. Did you put them there?
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, come to plead for work where the union refuses to?
Yeah, them.
If they were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not right now, at least.
Gotcha, so yes, but not admitting it.
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
Thank you, Rhetoric. What do you think of Avart?
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, It's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
Wait, really?
Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
There he is. That's Avart.
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
Edgar? Okay, that's the first we're hearing about a twin brother. Wait, there's two of him?
Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He
Okay.
also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over.
I think Leo mentioned him. Oh, okay. Hey, Jerem. Enjoy the lurk.
It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo.
Gotcha.
While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
Okay, so what about the union itself outside of the Brothers Clare?
The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that.
Okay.
Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The Brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
She hesitates, looking for the right expression. Effective advocate for the rights of local working men, a giant leech sucking the life out of Revachol, basically a socialist mob. Prefer not to have an opinion. Giant leech is probably accurate.
Or a mob. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the wolf always hungers.
Right. You said something happened in the elections.
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Would that be the woman on the roof? Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work. Ever.
Ah,
End of story.
eerie.
Downright haunting, if you ask me. The Wild Pines suspected foul play, but what could they do? It was a union matter.
Okay.
The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Gotcha. Right, change the topic.
Of course. How else can I help?
What can you tell me about the lynching?
Quite a few things, I'm afraid.
She falls silent for a moment, contemplating something.
The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your name and badge number.
Why?
I just can't go around telling confidential information to strangers. I've signed a contract.
About that. I don't have my badge at the moment.
What happened to it, Detective?
Brain, help.
Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events.
Right. I've recently suffered from an unusual medical episode. My lost badge is related to it. That's a really nice way to put that.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
Yes? It's possible after a night of heavy drinking, I lost all memory of my life and the world. True. I could have eaten it for all I know. I don't remember anything. This world, the city, nothing. Yeah, let's not admit to the drinking. She wouldn't approve of that. But yeah, I could have eaten it for all I know.
Oh dear. I suppose this does explain some of the more curious turns in our conversation.
Crap, she noticed. Brain.
She must have been suspecting something for a while now.
Thank you, Logic.
However, this isn't about my feelings. There's also protocol to consider. I'm afraid I can't say any more until I've seen that badge.
Okay, so we need our badge, which, I mean, to be fair, we also need our gun. But,
Hang on. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
okay. We have a 58% chance of getting suggestion done. I have a spare skill point. Suggestion, where are you? There you are. And I'm currently wearing an item that's actually not doing me any favors. So if I took off the item and then leveled up suggestion, this would probably pass. Which means we wouldn't have to find our badge. Eh? Eh? However, I don't think I can get back to this conversation. So, out of curiosity, for those of you who have played this before, if I put a point into suggestion right now, will that affect the dice roll? Hi, Kronos. It's okay. It will. Okay. Well, let's put a point into suggestion, because we're going to use it again later. That's fine. Also, Mr. Evart is helping me find my gun. That's fair. Right. 72%. That's much better.
Feelings
Crap.
will guide the way.
But, madam, I need to know about this lynching. It's very important to me. It's the case I'm solving. That was harsh.
I assure you, it is no small matter for me either. We
It's
all
okay.
share the
It's
responsibility for disarming this situation. I hope you have a badge for me as soon as possible.
Right. Okay, it's not a wasted point, because we're going to use suggestion again later. This fucking game, right? Okay. It's not a side case for me. This is my main thing. You have so much else. I only have this. This is the entirety of my existence. I don't think she's going to comply.
She's silent. The wind flaps the sail above her.
This boat, for example, and a home somewhere. I only have this case. God, we're pathetic.
Officer.
The carbon fiber hull creaks. Right, my morale is dropping. I don't remember anything except the lynching. There's only this coast and this lynching.
You know, I don't mean to sound cold, but if you want something, you have to give something back. More than just guilt.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. What do you want?
You're doing it. Despite your own best efforts, you're still getting in. Somehow.
It's because I'm pathetic.
I'll be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something tangible.
Such as?
The Union is conducting drug trade out of the harbour. It's an open secret in Martinez. Surely it must not come as a complete surprise to the RCM either. Perhaps it's time to look into it.
Okay.
Or you can find your badge, which honestly seems like a lost cause.
Kronos has decided he wants to stick his paw up my nose. Alright, tell me about the alleged drug trafficking.
It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle
It's
raw
okay.
ingredients from the Samar and Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
It's okay. What kind of ingredients?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Materials come from Samara to Revachol through the terminal.
Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter, north of here.
Ah. And Jamrock we can't get to. Okay, so you want me to investigate?
Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dockworkers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
Pretty sure we can get something out of the dude on the crane. Can't remember can't remember his name. Kronos, have I displeased you somehow? Leo, thank you, Bornson. Ow! Cats, everybody. Here, come on. You can sit in my lap instead. It's okay. Go ahead. There you go. He was enjoying the pettings too much.
The handoff. The motor lorries at the roundabout.
Ah, okay. The lorries.
Precisely. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they're vulnerable.
Gotcha. And I already have an in with some of the lorry drivers, so that's fine.
How convenient that they're stranded like beached whales at that roundabout.
Which means they're the ones that raise the bridge.
Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment.
She gives you a knowing look. Okay, so good old corporate espionage.
I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
Thank you. Brain?
Uncovering Union secrets could also give you an upper hand when dealing with them.
Okay. So it's no coincidence the lorries are stranded, is there?
No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner
It's
of
okay,
one of our
Kronos.
subsidiaries. However,
She pauses, looking to the sea. Don't hit the microphone. Don't repeatedly hit the microphone. There you go. Sorry, that was probably loud for you guys. Kronos. Your tail has a mind of its own. There you go.
this is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the Trade Committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge, and the operation will continue.
Didn't hear a thing. Fair enough. Yeah, his tail keeps hitting the pop filter I have hooked up to my mic, and it's, literally directly hooked up to the mic, so hopefully that didn't get loud for you guys, but you never know. Okay, so processed limited time. Gotcha.
Thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol. Not the east across the river, but the west. The vulnerable, the weary.
Okay. We already have some suspicions that one of the drivers was present at the lynching. Right.
The two might even be connected.
Okay. Why didn't you come to the RCM earlier?
We did. On more than one occasion.
Ah.
Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls under.
I'm sure if Kim was here, he would clear that up. That's not really my area. I just want to get to the bottom of this.
Well, here's your chance.
So what proof do you have that the union's involved?
How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the fourth month straight.
Fair point.
It's true they drove a number of the local businesses to bankruptcy preparing for this venture. I've talked to a few business owners. It was quite the shakedown. But the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men.
Gotcha. So you think the strike is being funded with source ingredients for drugs?
Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely. Then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you.
Okay. Brain?
It sounds like she tried looking into it herself, though she's clearly not the type your typical lorryman would confide in.
Okay. Okay, I've made up my mind about the smuggling.
Yes?
I'll look into it.
Excellent. According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully one of them will know something.
Okay.
It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I suspect the traffic jam won't disperse for a few more days. You should have the time you need.
Okay.
In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
Alright. Do you know something about the tattoos on the guy?
That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
Gotcha. So you do know something about the tattoos.
Better not tie the fourth day to the bat's day on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
Gotcha. Brain?
She wants to answer the question. Protocol keeps her from it.
You seem smart. I need someone to give me a lowdown on this reality we're in. Let's confuse the hell out of her. Go.
This reality?
She pulls her hood closer around her neck.
Yes, reality is your side case.
Thank you, drama.
An experimental side case.
I'm conducting a personal investigation into the world I find myself in. It's related to that medical episode. I have trouble remembering even the most basic terms of reality. Okay, that's very, very, very plain. Yeah, I like her as well. No time to explain, just give me the lowdown. Actually, no, okay, you know. No, related to the medical episode.
Ah, yes, the episode. Sounds like an acute case of encephalopathy now that I think of it.
She puts down her thermal cup and looks at you.
But then I'm no doctor. Ask away, officer. I'll help however I can.
Okay.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
Encyclopedia wants me to start at the top. Interesting. Okay.
We're in Martinez, baby.
Baby.
A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed.
I'm a disco holdover.
Aren't we all?
Brain.
She refers to your corresponding ages.
Okay. And what is Martinez?
Martinez is a district of Shoal. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour, north of the 881 and Jamrock.
Excellent.
You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year.
She is very patient with me, it's true. Okay. What sea is this?
It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Shoal. And the bay feeds into the ocean.
As you sign a torch in her face. Tell me about reality. Oh, God. Okay, Bay of Revachol. Are we near the ocean?
Yes. We're on an island in an ocean. The world's largest body of water. The Insulindic.
Who am I, lady? Blinds her with a flashlight. Exactly.
Known to the early Revacholians as Les Immensités Bleues, the blue immensities.
Yeah, good name.
Vast, lukewarm, and unknowable, flowing in and out of sight.
Okay, what's the name of the island?
Caillou, as you already know. Imagine a pebble. A smoothed over pebble amidst a great blue sea, misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the river Esperance. We're in the delta of this river on the 6th branch, the Martinez distributary.
Big river.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her.
Okay.
And to humanity at large.
Good. Right, tell me more about Martinez.
I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before, as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. There are ruins, a terminal, fishing boats, reeds, boys with boxy shoulders.
Aww.
A brief spike of longing in her upright body. The dots under her eyelids shake.
As I told you, Martinez used to be a province, a workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its part. Now the reeds are the real star of the show here. The further down the coast, the wilder it gets.
Okay. You were here as a teenager?
Yes, I was slumming it with some girlfriends of mine. We had boats and... Don't hold it against me. The boys certainly did not.
Aww. Okay, so... What's Revachol, or tell me about another, perhaps even more fundamental aspect of reality. I mean, yeah, what's Revachol? That's fun.
Revachol? Revachol is what you call a city.
What kind of city?
The great kind.
Brain?
As if it's self-explanatory. Beyond patriotism. A fact.
Explain.
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries.
Okay. Who built the city? Did we build the city? Did we build the city on rock and roll? No, disco. Sorry, we built the city on disco, apparently.
The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and Ile-Marat, depending on your creed.
Okay. Disco baby, right? When was Revachol built?
In the DeLorean century. 380 years ago.
Okay. And why will it resolve history?
They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest.
Interesting.
By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men.
Why here?
We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people in the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. It's where the money is.
Gotcha. So an unimportant part of an important place.
I think it's fair to say so. Martinez is about
She points across the water where the skyscrapers rise.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government, Insulindian Mission Command.
Look to the sea.
Silence. She lowers her hand.
Interesting. Night fever, you know how to do it.
The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time.
Probably am, you know.
There is no recognition, only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
Okay. Say nothing. Observe the large body of water swelling. Cold. I don't know any of this.
We are where we are. I have no truer answer to give, unfortunately.
I just gained a thought. Jamais vu. Revachol Special Administration Legion Li Kalu, the Insulindian Ocean Coalition, blah 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 blah. Name after name, none of them familiar. They seem real, but something is wrong. You feel like a kid looking at stickers on the fridge. Interesting. So this literally just gives me information about the area. That's nice.
This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you?
Okay.
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown.
Yeah, what times are these?
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Too late for what?
For the big time.
Her eyes light up. There's a flash of teeth. What's the big time?
The revolution.
Ah. What is the revolution I keep hearing about?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
I love that word, by the way. Kerfuffle? Excellent word. Ooh, unimportant times, right? Would you say it's a bunch of apes duking it out? I like that.
Why, of course. We're talking Duke Out Central. Full swing intraspecies warfare.
Has she been talking to the lizard brain? And the apes, were they evil?
No. I would say the apes were neutral.
She looks at you, her gaze sharp. Okay. Neutral.
On the other hand,
She turns north to the bombed-out buildings lining the waterfront, then shivers slightly. Yeah, fair.
No. The tiny apes are doing all they can to be better. It's not their fault.
Okay. Who got shot in the head?
those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head.
Ouch.
She's not gloating. It's a relieved celebration.
Gotcha.
Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
Gotcha.
She likes the totality of it.
Interesting. You could say they got totally shot in the head. It's a bad joke, but I have to go for it.
Indeed. They piled them in mass graves in Ozon. And, well, that's the last anyone heard of those people.
Did the communists and the anarchists shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
Truly a kerfuffle. Suddenly don't like her so much? Yeah.
Yes, the Insulindian deluge, they call it.
I like that I can reply, I had a deluge too, in my head. Like, well done, bravo. You know what, we're going for it.
Yes, an acute thiamine deficiency can be exacerbated by alcoholism. Exacerbated means made worse.
And now she's talking down to us. That's mean. Anyone else get shot in the head on the opposing side?
Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew.
Okay.
The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
Gotcha. Cowardly king.
I prefer the term risk-averse. King Guillaume was nobody's fool. He could smell a PR disaster brewing, so he got out alive, and his nephew Fricelle got shot in his place.
Gotcha.
Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time.
Right. Who got the mineral rights?
The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
And by liberals?
Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement.
Okay.
Some were rich enough to stay with the constitution.
Excuse me.
With monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras or ultra-liberals. They fared well.
Okay. How did the liberals win it all?
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
Right, fair enough.
We. She's one of them. Of course.
If everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to?
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
Gotcha. Okay. But you said the liberals took everything.
The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground.
Gotcha.
The ocean, the laws, and the people.
And the coalition is?
The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-la-Clay. The armed center of the world.
Gotcha.
They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
Brian?
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She is critical, but ultimately understands the cause.
Moralist?
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government.
She is a font of knowledge, exactly, yeah. I have to ask, because I don't know where the hell else we're going to get this information.
This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
No, I work for moralists.
The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of Moral Intern, or Moralist International, is a blue forget-me-not, a piece of grey sky. Unofficial. For a moment, there was hope.
Aw, that's sad. Don't think I'm a moralist, not just technically, practically. For a moment, there was hope. If always picking the option that doesn't commit to anything, then hell yes I am, and also not. Wow! The wiki even suggests talking to her to learn about stuff. I mean, that's fair. She does seem like she knows everything, so... I don't think I'm a moralist.
Of course. Not easy to be moderate about head shooting in your line of work.
Okay, fair enough. So, when was the kerfuffle?
The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question.
Plus, she's written with an excellent sense of humor, which I approve of.
The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end, nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
Who started it?
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Marzolf came along and overthrew the government.
And what did that do?
It made people overthrow their governments.
No way.
Indeed. Zarat is a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark.
Okay, fair.
It was a funny time in history. They discovered transistors and rock music, but they didn't know anything about prions. Nobody did.
If only she took more sorrow over the dead communists, right? Also, incidentally, prion disease, that's what you get when you eat people. Well, generally speaking, it's what you get when you eat people's, brains and intestines. Anywhere that there's a large concentration of nervous tissue. So, don't do that. Where did it spread from there?
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Marzolf's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
Okay, what came next?
Why? You and I, officer.
Ah.
Our lives in the zone of control.
Okay. Wendigoism. I haven't heard it called that, but possibly. You'd have to check that online, because I'm not familiar with that term.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar.
No.
Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie, a pair of pants.
Our lives are very different from each other.
No doubt. But we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts for more than you think.
I mean, she is still being very, very kind. So what is the zone of control?
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations. And you, of course, the citizens' militia.
Okay.
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated silk mill. Precinct 41. Chad Tilbrook presses enter. Outside, Officer Elfboy Williams slams the door of an armored motor carriage.
Interesting. You're half native. We sort of outwardly live in mortal fear of that thing. Fair. Yeah, Wendigos are, from what I've read of them, absolutely terrifying. And yet fascinating, and I kind of want to write about them.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune.
Okay. So what happened to the rest of the world?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eslary communication, telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
No worries, Bornson. I hope you have an excellent night. Thank you for popping in.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
Okay. You're saying it's been like this for 43 years.
Time flies.
Right. And what have you been doing all that time?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of
Nice.
the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. '08 to '19 was simply hell.
Great. And after that?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven.
Of course.
With the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
And were they?
No. It was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing. The 40s dispelled it like a cold splash. An Isla-wide hangover, you might say. And here we are.
She curtsies. Okay.
Welcome to reality, baby.
All right. So that's get a reality lowdown. Okay. Brain?
From the looks of it, the 50s haven't been much better for the zone of control. You can see it in her eyes. days slipping away.
You don't seem to be thrilled.
I've no right to be dissatisfied. This shirt is Barbara Muscova, this raincoat is impervious to rain and is guaranteed for 100 years. My daughters will wear it. No, it's just...
She looks at the crumbling tenements, paint flecking from the stone.
We could have had so much more. Every one of us. If only we played it right.
What would you have done differently?
Good question. What would you have done differently?
Interesting. Brain.
No, her first.
I asked you, who are you in all of this?
And I asked you, past less detective of the Citizens Militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given to you?
I would have sought medical solution. Sounds like the Tazarath drove these people mad. I would have killed more, 400 million if that's what it took. Would have made off with the mineral rights. I don't know what I would have done differently. The Wendigo legend seems to be linked to the neural degradation of Kuru. Interesting. I'll have to look into that. I've only kind of briefly skimmed over that, so. Like I've done a lot of studying on cannibalism, just for a book that I'm working on, but yeah, I haven't actually looked into Wendigo, so. Medical solution? No, that's not appropriate. 400 million if that's what it took. That doesn't sound better. Yeah, I don't know.
And you would have died, most likely. Not far from here. Maybe even right here, during the beachhead, defending the coast the day the Coalition took the city.
Depressing.
The cold runs down your spine. She gestures toward the waters.
Cannibalism, the NSA must love you. Oh yeah, no, I'm on several lists. I'm quite sure of it. I mean, hell, I was on a terrorist watch list when Bush was still president, so. During the post 9/11 panic about people possibly searching things online. Oh yeah, I got a letter in the mail and everything. They're like, by the way, just so you know. Oddly enough, it hasn't come up since. Go figure. I'm gonna say happily.
The wind stops. There is silence on the dark water of the Martinez Inlet.
Good. Not that it would have mattered. In the end, the commune forced everyone to the barricades.
Interesting. Right, that's enough about the times.
They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come.
Got one of those too. I was in middle school. Yeah, I was just out of high school. Or, yeah, it was just out of high school that I got mine. So it would have been like 2005, 2006, something like that. Well, hi, Kronos. Are you here to turn off my webcam again? Because I know you like doing that. Come here.
Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
Yes.
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer.
It's okay, Kronos. Yeah, I'll be 36 at the end of this year. I want to know what you are. She hums.
She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
So, what are you?
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor. A devourer of nations and infants.
Interesting.
I am an ultra.
Interesting. Dios mío, a liberal. So what's so vile about that?
Haven't you heard? I am a nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. One of those who pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution.
Okay.
We surrendered the nation to the financier pirates. No sane person identifies as an ultra-liberal anymore. Not in broad daylight. You're a man of the left. A true communard. Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, are you repulsed?
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride.
Okay.
Forgive her,
Suggestion wants me to forgive her.
but only because you like pearlescent teeth and those light green eyes.
I forgive you, but only because you're charming. Yeah, let's flirt with her a little bit. Only because you're charming.
A devil, who being of great charm and guile, sneaketh into the homes of the godly.
That dialect is Ubisunt. You recognize it's a quote from somewhere. A play written way back in the Franco-Nigerian century.
Closer in age than Gemini? Yeah, probably. And persuades them to addict themselves to his service.
Ah, maybe you remember more than you let on. Despite whatever brain damage the alcohol may have inflicted.
Vile devil. Shake your head slowly.
I hope we're able to continue as friends, despite my deeply felt need to infiltrate and betray the revolution, and then ensnare you to financial service. Honestly, I may have even preferred it, had the communards won. Who knows? They might really have built something better. But they didn't, because they lost.
Yeah, fair enough.
When the dust settled, the Liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed.
Interesting. And would you have done something different?
With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinez a monument to the efficacy of its artillery.
Brain?
While a gentle wind sweeps the streets in the rebuilt east, light drizzle washing it clean, lights go up and motor carriages circulate the tracks.
Okay.
I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either. If not for my own sake. Then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isla down rather than let them have it.
Solid answer.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes. An oil fire on the ocean.
You're a smart woman.
Perhaps. My intellectual vanity will be my undoing.
Aww.
You're no dummy yourself.
I can say, so am I, or no, or intellectual vanity will be my undoing. Yeah, don't go around saying that I am a smart person. It doesn't work out.
And the crown on your head as you lay in the casket.
Interesting. So, you're a patriot.
Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
Interesting. So you have daughters.
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother and a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?
Sure. What is this acute encephalopathy?
It's a neurological disorder caused by a lack of vitamin B in the brain. Symptoms include a retrograde amnesia. It's quite serious. You should get yourself checked out.
Tried that. They laughed at me.
She conveys it in short, cold bursts, trying not to invest too deeply in the condition of this doomed detective.
Empathy is always such a pleasant thought.
In case he goes down later, souring the entire portfolio.
I know you've got a lot riding on me. I won't let you down. Yeah, I'll go with that.
It's not just me, Detective. All of Martinez has placed its chips on your success. I pray we've all bet wisely.
So what causes encephalopathy? Yes.
Well, it's either bariatric surgery or long-term alcohol use.
Definitely the drinking.
She nods slowly.
Yes, and perform autoerotic asphyxiation on yourself with your funny necktie out in the open somewhere.
What the fuck? Oh, necktie. Never change. Right, we've got a 72% chance because I can access the ICP database, because my authority comes from the coalition, and because the Kim debrief is already done. What is, think of something close to you?
6 kilometers southwest in the Valley of Dogs, Junior Officer Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog licking its wounds in the grass. To his left, his partner, Emil Mullins, whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinez?" "Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbrook answers, fingers on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil." He pulls it out slowly. Slowly now. He'll find it again.
Creepy.
We always do.
Very creepy. Definitely explains the broken window now. Autoerotic asphyxiation. Yeah, a little bit. So, what am I?
You're an officer of the RCM.
She says energetically. The Revachol Citizens Militia.
Preciso mundo.
Good. And what is that?
Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, Detective.
Excellent. You said de facto.
Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin.
Gotcha. What do you mean exactly?
The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency, Wayfarer and Aliments Acts, 3 pieces of legislation keeping the city in a, let's be honest, laissez-faire stasis to the benefit of foreign capital.
So I'm a lackey of capital.
There's nothing basic about your role, Detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent provisional rulers like it.
She leans in.
Yet, on the other hand, I know these people. I deal with them daily. Let me tell you, dear, they are not fans of you.
Interesting. Why?
The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Revachol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, a botched privatization scheme, a nuclear pile meltdown.
Great.
They called it the international zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the coalition failed. A true blue citizens' initiative. They will never forgive you.
Now that makes sense.
So permit me to conclude with this. Who you are to me is the police, the only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol.
Okay. Well, thank you.
And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality, well, I'm here to help.
Well, she's delightful. Okay. So, what is this? And spread your hands.
A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
Keep guessing.
Some sort of krill hunter? No, wait. You're an ancient ruin. A symbol of hubris and decay. Half submerged in some salty sea.
She's pretty bang on there. So you're saying I'm ruined?
Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games.
It's an alternate history Russia, the revolution failed, and thus disco invaded the motherland. It kind of seems close to that, yeah. I mean, names changed and kind of entire geography changed, but yeah. I did mean, what is this place?
Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot.
Okay.
Or 2.
And what is that?
A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux.
Okay.
33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old.
She looks up at the crumbling facade.
This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course.
Okay, who lived here?
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off.
They'll do that.
Splat, splat.
From a dilapidated balcony, Cindy the Skull gives Joyce the evil eye, her red paintbrush held to her throat.
Wonderful.
Okay, I can ask something about the RCM again for some reason.
Nothing more nor less than the de facto law. Yes, that means not. Permit me to conclude with this. And if those authorities drink
Okay,
so
same old
hard
things.
they need
So,
help
what
according
is
to
that?
basic
And point
terms
to
of
Cindy the
reality.
Skull.
The girl in the old lady rags.
Yes.
Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
Infraculture?
Yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags.
I mean, I thought she was just broke, but okay.
She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
Right. So now explain the same thing, but to a child.
Young people who dye their hair funny colors and wear old people's clothes are stupid, and their little rebellion is self-defeating.
Harsh.
All right. What next?
Suddenly, you're not so sure you're part of the supraculture.
It's true, you know. I think I may be part of an infraculture.
And what would that be?
Disco.
I can see that, yes. I dabble in those dark arts myself, not so long ago. I assure you, it was a thoroughly supracultural phenomenon. All permeating. Downright mandatory.
Plus terrible dancing.
Nothing infra about disco, baby.
Your disco?
Those days are long behind me. And even in the early 30s, I would say I was more of a new girl. Disco was a minor, but still enjoyable facet of the whole thing for me.
Interesting. The abundance of Franco language notes it's very Russian monarchist. The Romanovs primarily spoke French rather than Russian. True, yeah. Much of the pre-revolutionary aristocracy spoke English and German. Russian was more the language of the poor. Yeah. I'm trying to not mix my history because there's a lot of history in the last couple of centuries in that particular area. But yeah, I know Russian was considered the little people talk. But yeah, the English and German is interesting.
The new, a cultural era, and the name of the decade it ravished, the 30s. It came out of post-revolutionary Shoal. It was ultra-liberal.
Okay, then.
It involved lots of partying, as you might imagine, and
Course.
champagne-coloured everything. By the looks of it, that would have been when you came of age. Now,
She raises her eyebrow at you. Sounds fun, I can't remember a single thing. Champagne, that doesn't sound like anything I'd be into. I'm straight edge. Yeah, sounds fun.
wasn't it Guillaume Le Million who said, if you can remember the new, you weren't there?
For some reason, your mind is a veritable repository of Guillaume Le Million lyrics, trivia, and B-sides.
Interesting.
The time to explore this is when you're alone, facing a mirror perhaps. Right now, it would derail the reality lowdown.
Okay, so I learned something about myself there. That's nice. Oh, right. So, very, very low chance of conceptualizing this, and my conceptualization's actually quite high. But screw it.
A strange coldness comes over you as you look at the world. The waves sway the sloop slowly. That's all.
That's a shame.
It's on the tip of your tongue. A doubt of sorts already in your head, but it's not fully formed yet. You have to wait and return to this later, once the jamais vu thought is complete.
That makes more sense. Okay, that's all for now.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
By the way, I've talked to the fat man.
You have? And how did you like Mr. Clare?
I didn't. He's a beautiful man, beautiful and just. Avart Clare is a hero of the workers' movement. He's a bloated rainbow socialist. Can do business with him for socialists. He's reasonable. He's not the champion I have chosen. I wish to swear fealty to you in the cause of capital. Oh, God. Mr. Arvart is helping you find your gun. Nice. Had to write an essay on the revolution in high school. Nice. Yay for remedial world history. I actually quite enjoy world history. Don't much care for, the United States history. Pre-United States history is nice, but yeah. How did I like him? I didn't.
Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How else would he have stayed in power all these years? Or wait, actually...
She answers her own question.
Corruption. That's how he's done it. Fantastic, Verm-like corruption, reaching into the bowels of the earth.
She looks at the ground and nods.
Of course. I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a Verm myself. But if you felt like passing some information, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
Underhanded, I like it.
Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about these things.
Okay.
Yes, your disgusting necktie agrees completely. Let's gossip.
Oh my God, my necktie. Mr. Ervart is helping me find my gun. I see what you're doing here, Epiphan. Helped him turn up the heat on the borscht. I'd rather talk to you about something else. Yeah. Thing is, I don't think... I mean, A, he's not actually helping me find my gun, and B, his men didn't find my gun in the pawn shop. So... Screw it.
Oh. That's so helpful of him.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very helpful. And how is that going? Do you have any leads on that gun?
Mr. Everett is helping me find my gun. Yeah.
Yes. As you said.
Apparently I can keep going like this.
Your gun, yes. Do you want to talk about something else now?
Good God, I'm stuck. Somebody give me a shove, quick, the needle's stuck. Right, we've hit static. Brain.
He seems to be in some sort of loop.
Oh God. Mr. Everett is helping me find my gun.
Well, that's not good. Looks fine over here. You sure it's not some sort of glandular problem?
Oh no.
What is happening?
Mr. Everett is helping me find my gun.
Executive function is completely shot. I keep pushing buttons and nothing is happening.
Right, my brain is panicking. We can't understand what she's saying. And brain?
Of all the things to be stuck looping, this has got to be one of the most witless.
Thank you, Rhetoric.
Sweetheart, please stop repeating that now.
Her eyes look worried, frightened even. Just keep repeating it.
Please.
She looks around. Just keep
How
going.
do we get out of here?
Right, logic is confused. That can't be good.
What makes you think we will?
Right. Thank you, suggestion.
Yeah, we need to pull the plug. There's nothing else to do.
I think we're about to pass out.
Are you not afraid it'll kill him?
I like that empathy is worried about me.
What if he forgets everything again. Okay, I'm gonna do it. Hold on.
Ow.
Detective, is everything all right in there?
What happened?
I'm not sure exactly, but you seem to be caught in some sort of loop.
Loop?
Never mind the details. We've wasted enough time as it is. What matters is that you seem to have got out of it.
Okay.
Now, please ask me something else before it happens again. Something that, preferably, doesn't include the words Mr. or Everard.
Awesome. Thank you, Hippofant. That was amazing. I helped him turn up the heat on his borscht.
Did you now? What sort of borscht is he making?
The cook makes it to keep the strikers drunk.
The strike brew. That's a classic. And by turn up the heat, I presume you mean put more alcohol in it?
Did I turn the heat down? I can't remember what I did with the booze. So... possibly I did less booze?
Beyond curious. I will choose to interpret that as you turning the alcohol in the strike brew down. For the sake of our professional relationship.
Yeah, okay. I love how the aspects of your brain formed a council to decide what to do with you. It's like, hold on, I'm breaking. What's going on?
And because I don't like the idea of them any more drunk than they already are. What else?
That's all I got.
Of course, Detective. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat.
Okay.
Until then, is there anything I can help you with?
More questions about reality, but I think we went through all of those. I think that's all for now.
Of course, Detective. Take care.
Now, about my gun. This is Monday, this is Tuesday. Find smokes and smoke them. Still haven't done that. Track down the badge. Clothes in the trash. I don't have my gun on here. Just a shame, really. Find the armored gloves, add even more beauty to the wall. Huh. Yeah, I don't have my gun anymore, which kind of makes me wonder if talking to the what was it? The pawn shop. Talking to the pawn shop. I wonder if that had something to do with that. But I think I'm going to call it, because as you can probably tell from my voice and my lack of being able to actually speak, I am very, very tired. So, we're going to save that there. We're probably going to call it there. Who are we going to raid tonight? Spanky's doing Children of Morta. Bronte Marie is doing Among Us. Let's bug... Let's bug Bronte Marie. She's fun. Mr. Everett's helping me find my gun. That can be the raid message. But thank you guys very much for tuning in. I have been LeftToeDjinn. I am very, very tired. I appreciate you guys being around. I know I have. I've been missing a lot of streams lately, so I appreciate that you guys are still tuning in. It means a lot to me. I'll try not to miss any more for at least the foreseeable future, but can't promise that. So hopefully you guys will join me next time. We'll pick this up again on Monday, and if I'm very, very lucky, I'll be able to do a stream this weekend sometime. Not sure when, but maybe. I'd like to do a 1-year celebration and do a really long stream. That sounds fun to me. But I'll see you guys next time. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.